What is up, everybody? This is Lyle, No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I'm coming at you from just outside the Millennium Building at the Prime Inc. Springfield Terminal. I was trying to get my truck either down to Peterbilt to get this airline situation fixed today, or possibly running over to detail to see if they could put a used refrigerator in my truck. You know, when I ordered this truck to get a factory refrigerator, they were talking about $760 something, and I just could not for the life of me justify spending half the price that I spent on my stainless steel French door refrigerator at home. So we passed on that, and I'm going to look to see if I can slide a used one in here at some point, or I'll just keep rocking with what I got. You know, I pulled on the yard yesterday. I was talking to my man Willie, the Million Mile Man. Check out his YouTube channel. He was telling me that his son was up here and he had just passed his PSD phase, so he got a CDL. Trucking along with Kiersey helped him with that. Check out her channel as well. So I said, hey man, send me your son's phone number and I'll ask him if he wants me to take him out for a celebration dinner tonight. So he did that, and we went out and had dinner last night, had a chance to kind of talk about a few things, so that was good. And one thing I noticed when I was parked up at the Campus Inn and just driving through here yesterday is there are a lot of young trainees coming through this program right now. And I don't know if it's younger than what it normally is, but I just happened to really notice that this time. So I wanted to kind of put out this video as kind of a cautionary tale, because I remember me when I was, you know, back in the 90s and I was in my 20s and I was all full of piss and vinegar and stuff like that. So hopefully what I'm going to kind of talk about will resonate with you and you can kind of think through things before you know, act like a Chicago police officer and, you know, shoot and then ask somebody to freeze. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you got to kind of hold off what you want to say before you think about it. So I had an occasion yesterday where my driver called me and she's dealing with some situations. And I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it's really not the best situation. And, you know, she reached out to the proper channels and she felt like she had got spoken down to. Now, if it was anybody other than who the person was she said that she felt she was spoken down to, I may not have put a bunch of credibility on it. But me and another one of my friends I talked to on the phone, Terry over at Tim Travels, go check out his YouTube channel. This person is somebody that we might speak about on occasion. So I knew it was credible. So I tried to get involved in everything, and you know, I'm not hearing anything about, I'm not getting any response. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. But what I do want to talk about is I was in the middle of a video where I was just going off. You know, my 25-year-old me came out. And I was doing a video and it was like straight fire. And luckily, I got interrupted by a guy that's going through PSD. He has a YouTube channel as well, Burner D the Trucker, and he had walked up to my truck and kind of interrupted my video and everything, and that little pause right there is really all I needed to really think about what I was gonna do. Now, I mentioned several times that being 53 years old and going through all this, you know, that old age has mellowed me out a little bit, and there's plenty of times, whether it's shippers, receivers, you know, not my dispatcher, but other dispatchers possibly, that have got me in a position where if it was me in my 20s, I might have taken the satisfaction of going off on somebody rather than holding my tongue and dealing with the situation in either a more professional manner or through other channels. And that's what I want to talk to some of you young people about, because I remember me in my 20s. You know, I had a sharp tongue in my 20s, and I was not afraid to let it rip. And That almost happened to me yesterday. So what I want some of you young people to think about when you're dealing with some of this, like I said, shippers, receivers, it'll happen often more times there than it will inside of Prime. But when these situations come up where you're about to kind of go that route, think about it for a minute before you react. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, in my case, had I put out that video that I was recording, you know, I'm not sure if anything would have came back on me from internally at Prime, if anybody would have seen that. But at a minimum, it would have put me in a bad light. And I'm glad that he had interrupted that video, and I decided to just stop and not continue it. But that's one thing that you're going to have to learn out here. And I think as older people, you know, a lot of us that are, you know, in our 40s and 50s, you know, we have seen where speaking too soon or speaking in the wrong way has actually hurt us in the past. So a lot of times we're able to think through things a little bit further than somebody that's younger, just from maturity alone. So I just want to put that out there to some of you guys that are coming through, and it really applies to anybody at any age. But I just know that younger people are quick to respond before they really think things through as much. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is you never know who you're talking to when you're at Prime, okay? There's a lot of people here that are wandering around the building that are high up in the Prime hierarchy, or some people might be related to some people, and, you know, having these conversations within earshot of people that you don't know, you could be letting somebody hear what you have to say that you may not want to hear what that conversation was about. You know, another thing in regards to that is, you know, when I spoke with Willie and he was, you know, told me his son was up here, and you know, I told him, you know, I was going to take him out to dinner and everything. Willie didn't, you know, he just sent me his number, and that was kind of it. So when I go up there to meet him at Fire and Ice, you know, I'm looking around for what I think might be what I would think that Willie's son would look like. So I'm like looking around, I don't see anybody, so I text him and I say, hey, I'm up here at the restaurant, where are you at? And he said, well, I'm up at the front lobby. You know, I'll head back. So, you know, when he came back, you know, it was somebody that I didn't really expect. You know, Willie's black and his son is just white. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think a lot of times when people get around certain groups, whether, you know, it be groups of black people, groups of white people, Mexican people, a lot of times people will have conversations that they normally won't have if somebody else is around. You know, another good example of this is, you know, Terry over at Tim Travels. Again, check out his YouTube channel. You know, Terry has told me on a couple of occasions where people might have said things in his presence regarding black people that they may not have said if they would have known that he has black children. You know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't be like, you know, somebody that you would, you know, I mean, not that, I guess there's not a stereotype of a white person that would have black kids, but, you know, he has black kids. And people will have conversations around people not knowing that. You know, I have a white wife. You know, I think, you know, a lot of people know that. She's been in some of my videos, but, you know, I've been around people and have heard things that people probably wouldn't have said had they not known that. And in regards to, well, I don't want to get into Willie's situation, but, you know, there are times when people have said things out of place and it has cost them more than they probably wanted it to cost them. I'll just leave it at that. But you know, I just want you, in regards to what my drivers dealt with and what I've been dealing with. I did a video a while back and I said that you are prime. And really, when I did that video, I was making that video in regards to the person that I'm having this problem with right now, because this situation has came up with me a number of times, other drivers a number of times, and I'm the most laid back person in the world. My fleet manager, if he would ever be on here to say anything, I'm the most level person. Well, maybe not the levelest person ever, but I have never spoken out of turn to my fleet manager, any of them, even this particular one. And God damn it, I lost my damn point. Oh, you are prime. So I had a conversation with my fleet manager and I said, you know what? You are the reason I'm here. If I had to deal with this other person all the time, I would not be here. And I think if everybody takes that, you know, kind of looks at things this way, it'll even tighten up the culture here at Prime more. And like I said in the previous video, that's from everybody that's like day one in PSD all the way to the, you know, Rob Lowe at the top of the food chain. You know what I'm saying? Because if you came in at PSD and you have that little bit more experience and you see somebody wandering around not knowing where they're going, you know, help them out. You know what I'm saying? Because Prime is just a building and a bunch of trucks and all that kind of stuff. The culture in Prime stems from the people that work at Prime, and either you are an asset to the company, very few people are just neutral, or you are a detriment to the company. And if everybody looks at things that way, everybody might treat people with a little bit more respect. But anyway, that's just what I wanted to speak about on this today. I am pretty upset about this situation, and I was about to go talk to my fleet manager about it this morning. I looked on the app and it said he was logged in on site, but that happened to be a mistake. But I'll have a conversation with him on Monday. But anyway, want to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. I appreciate it. As always, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.